Have you ever experienced a moment where it seemed like the universe was sending you a message? Something that felt more than just a simple coincidence, as if events were aligning in a meaningful way? Synchronicity, a concept popularized by Carl Jung, describes these moments, where time and circumstances come together in a way that transcends mere chance. But how can you tell if it's truly synchronicity or just a coincidence? Jung believed that synchronicity goes beyond simple randomness. For him, these events are deeply connected to a person's inner state, linking their psyche with the external world in a mysterious and meaningful way. What makes a synchronistic event special is the sense that there is a hidden message, a guide for our life, that goes beyond logical understanding. By understanding synchronicity, we can see that the world around us often responds to our inner quest. Jung invited us to view these moments as signs that help us better understand the path we should take. Synchronicity challenges the traditional view of reality by breaking away from the idea that everything happens by pure chance. If the universe were merely a mechanical gear, where every action follows a predictable reaction, how can we explain those moments when something unexpected happens exactly when we need it most? A song playing on the radio with lyrics that seem to directly answer a personal dilemma, an improbable encounter that changes the course of a life, or even a book that appears at the exact moment when an answer is sought. These events suggest that there is an invisible fabric stitching human experiences together, an intelligence operating behind the scenes, far beyond Cartesian logic. If reality is an illusion or a simulation, as some modern theories suggest, then synchronicity might be one of the rare moments when the codes of this grand program reveal themselves. Imagine we are inside a game, but unaware of the rules. From time to time, the game gives us clues. Small glitches in the matrix, as Morpheus would say in The Matrix. You think of someone, and that person calls you right then. You dream of a symbol, and the next day you see it on a billboard. Could these lapses in reality just be coincidences? Or are they messages from a much larger system, trying to show us that there is something beyond what our eyes can perceive? Consciousness is the key to the synchronistic experience. It's not enough for something extraordinary to happen, it's necessary to be awake enough to notice. Two individuals may go through the same experience and interpret it in completely different ways. Someone distracted might ignore the subtle patterns of life, while another person, attentive to the subtext, might perceive a deep meaning in something seemingly mundane. Carl Jung suggested that synchronicity is a reflection of the psyche interacting with the external world, as if the unconscious projects symbols into reality to guide us. If this is true, then the more we develop our perception and self-awareness, the more we can decipher this hidden dialogue between the mind and the universe. Types of synchronicity. Synchronicity manifests in different ways, adapting to the uniqueness of each individual. Some people experience it as small daily coincidences, bumping into an old friend unexpectedly or seeing a number repeated several times throughout the day. Others experience it intensely, at decisive moments in life, as if the universe is aligning events to guide them toward a crucial choice. There is no fixed pattern, but there is a thread, the feeling that something larger is at play, that there is meaning behind apparent casualities. Curiously, synchronicity tends to reflect a person's internal state. If someone is immersed in negative thoughts, they often find signs and events that confirm this perspective, reinforcing a vicious cycle. On the other hand, when there is an open state and a search for growth, synchronicity acts as a mirror, bringing opportunities and messages aligned with this energy. It's as if the mind were a magnet, attracting experiences that match its frequency. This explains why moments of change or transition in life are often accompanied by significant synchronistic events. Factors such as attention, emotion, and intention influence the frequency and intensity of synchronicities. Someone who starts to observe the world around them more attentively will begin to notice connections that previously went unnoticed. Intense emotions, whether positive or negative, seem to amplify these events, making them more evident. Additionally, conscious intention can act as a catalyst. People who set clear goals or seek deep answers often find synchronistic clues along the way. But discernment is necessary. Not everything that seems like synchronicity truly is. Some coincidences are simply that, coincidences. Premonitory synchronicity. Some synchronicities seem to anticipate important events, acting as a sort of premonition. These are the moments when something unusual happens, and shortly after, a major event unfolds. A classic example is dreaming of a strange symbol, and then, days later, that same symbol appearing in a decisive context. Or encountering an unusual animal during a moment of doubt, and shortly afterward, receiving news that changes everything. These signs are not accidental. They emerge as fragments of a greater reality, attempting to prepare the mind for what is to come. Identifying patterns that indicate a warning or an imminent change requires sensitivity and observation. Often, synchronicity comes subtly, as if testing the observer's attention. It may be a phrase repeating in different contexts, a name unexpectedly appearing several times, or even déjà vu sensations that seem to carry a special weight. The trick is in noticing the recurrence of these signs and connecting the dots. It doesn't mean that every little coincidence holds a hidden meaning, but when something persists, it's worth paying attention to. Why do certain events carry a premonitory meaning? The answer may lie in the relationship between the unconscious and time. Carl Jung suggested that the unconscious does not operate under the linear logic we use to measure reality. It perceives patterns before the conscious mind can comprehend them. That's why, at times, we feel as though we knew something before it even happened. This mechanism can be compared to an internal radar, picking up subtle signals and rearranging them into symbols and synchronistic events. The challenge is learning to differentiate a true premonition from simple paranoia or projected expectation. Deviational synchronicity. Sometimes, life seems to follow a predictable path, until an unlikely choice triggers unexpected synchronistic event. A deviation from the routine, such as taking a different route to work or accepting a last-minute invitation, can lead to encounters that completely change the course of life. This type of synchronicity happens when a person steps out of autopilot and opens up to new possibilities. It's as if the universe reacts instantly to an unusual decision, placing in their path what would otherwise remain invisible. Acting against habitual patterns can be uncomfortable, but it is precisely this discomfort that opens space for the new. When someone finds themselves repeating the same cycles with no progress, small changes can generate surprising effects. Imagine someone who always relates to the same type of partner and ends up frustrated. On the day they decide to try something different, meeting someone who isn't part of their pattern, they might realize that synchronicity was waiting for this move to bring a new lesson. Small deviations can be the trigger for entirely new realities. The relationship between free will and synchronicity is subtle, yet fundamental. Contrary to popular belief, synchronicity does not negate the freedom of choice. It responds to it. Each decision opens different doors, and the more conscious the choice, the greater the chance of noticing the hidden connections that arise in response. In other words, the universe does not push anyone in a direction, but reacts to the way the person moves. This means that if someone wishes to attract positive synchronicities, they must first be willing to step outside their comfort zone. Expansion synchronicity. Moments of personal growth often coincide with the emergence of synchronicities that reflect this internal transformation. When someone undergoes a significant change, whether emotional, intellectual, or spiritual, they begin to notice that the world around them seems to react to this expansion. New ideas, people, and opportunities appear in ways so unexpected that it seems impossible to ignore them. It's as if, by maturing internally, the person becomes more attuned to the frequencies of the universe, which in turn guides them on the new path they are walking. These synchronicities can be seen as external manifestations of internal changes. Imagine you are on a path of self-discovery, and suddenly, you meet someone who shares a very similar outlook on life, even though you had been completely isolated until that point. Or, you begin to notice a specific number every time you make an important decision, which can be interpreted as confirmation that you're on the right track. These signs don't occur by chance. They are reflections of how your inner energy is connecting with the external environment. The unconscious plays a crucial role in this process. As you seek a new understanding of yourself, the unconscious begins to manifest in ways that help expand your consciousness. These manifestations can appear in dreams, symbols, or, more directly, in synchronistic experiences that seem to guide you in the right direction. By integrating these messages, you expand your perception and, with that, create a reality that is in harmony with your growth. By noticing and interpreting these experiences, you can move more quickly along your path of expansion. Synchronicity as a message and omen. Synchronicity can be interpreted as a hidden message within everyday events, providing guidance for the decisions we need to make. Often, people are searching for answers but don't know where to find them, yet these answers may emerge in seemingly trivial situations. For example, you might be in a moment of indecision and, while walking down the street, notice something peculiar, a strange animal behavior or even a conversation nearby that somehow echoes your internal doubt. These signs, easily overlooked, have the power to illuminate the path ahead if you are attentive enough to decipher them. It's important to understand that these signs are not one-dimensional. A simple coincidence may actually carry significant weight depending on the emotional context in which you find yourself. Synchronicity acts as a reflection of your inner state, making you notice what was previously obscured. For instance, if you're emotionally open and seeking spiritual answers, you may begin to notice that in your next conversation, a specific phrase will resonate deeply, guiding your next action. These signs are interconnected to a force that links the unconscious to the outside world, and it is necessary to be in tune with this energy to understand them properly. Distinguishing between a true warning and a subjective interpretation can be one of the greatest challenges when dealing with synchronicity. Often, the mind tries to impose a narrative on the coincidences it experiences, and this can distort the true message. To avoid falling into this trap, it's necessary to cultivate intuitive perception and discern whether the sign genuinely connects to your emotional state and what you're trying to resolve, or if it's just a mental invention. This requires constant self-awareness and a deep connection with the unconscious, so that synchronicity can be interpreted clearly and objectively. Manifestation synchronicity. Manifestation synchronicity is a fascinating phenomenon in which the mind seems to shape reality according to the thoughts and intentions that reside in the unconscious. When someone is focused on a desire or goal, they may begin to notice events and situations aligning with that desire, as if the universe were conspiring to bring to life what was mentally projected. Imagine that you're searching for a new job opportunity and, by focusing on this, you begin to notice advertisements or receive interview invitations from places that weren't even on your radar before. This isn't mere coincidence, it's synchronistic manifestation. This phenomenon is deeply tied to the power of the mind and the way our thoughts shape reality. Jungian psychology suggests that the collective unconscious, the universal layer of the human psyche, is constantly in communication with the external universe. When we align our thoughts with a clear intention, synchronicity begins to act as a reflection of this, bringing elements from the external world that match the vibrational energy we've emitted. For example, if you're determined to find a new place to live, you may begin to notice more for rent signs or even receive offers from friends for places that match exactly what you were looking for. Quantum physics offers a possible explanation for this phenomenon, suggesting that the quantum field is influenced by our consciousness. The theory of quantum fields proposes that particles have no definite position until observed. Thus, the idea that the mind can interfere with reality seems to make sense within this model, since by focusing our thoughts on something specific, we end up observing it and, in turn, manifesting what we desire. It's not just about a simple wish or positive thinking, but a conscious tuning to what we seek to attract, a dance between the unconscious and the universe that responds in often surprising ways. Artificial and deceptive synchronicity. While synchronicity is a profound and authentic phenomenon, there are also manifestations that can be manipulated or illusory. In a world where information circulates rapidly and people are constantly connected, it's not difficult to find situations that, at first glance, seem like synchronicities, but are actually induced by external influences. This happens when the environment or the people around us create a coincidence effect to manipulate us or make us believe in something that isn't genuine. One example would be when the media or even social networks begin displaying specific information or symbols that make us feel as though reality is sending us a message, when in fact it's an artificial construction. Identifying these manipulated synchronicities requires discernment. Unlike authentic experiences, artificial synchronicities tend to be excessively obvious or repetitive, as if trying to force us to believe in something. They arise when there's an agenda behind them, attempting to influence our decisions or perceptions. This could happen, for instance, when a brand starts showing a symbol everywhere, creating the feeling that the universe is showing you something, when in reality it's a marketing strategy. To avoid falling into this trap, it's essential to be aware that not every coincidence has a deep meaning. Some may be constructed to emotionally affect us. Avoiding the traps of manipulated synchronicities begins with practicing careful observation and developing a deeper connection with the unconscious. By doing so, it becomes easier to distinguish between true synchronicity and something externally fabricated. The key is to perceive whether the synchronistic event truly resonates with your inner state, with your genuine feelings and intentions, or if it's simply being imposed from the outside in. Over time, by strengthening your self-understanding, you can avoid letting external influences create illusions of synchronicity that divert you from your true path. Opportunity synchronicity. Opportunity synchronicity occurs when, at a pivotal moment in life, events align perfectly to open new paths. Imagine you're in a phase of indecision, and unexpectedly, a conversation arises that touches on a crucial point in your life, leading you to an important decision. Or perhaps, a simple chance turns into an opportunity that once seemed out of reach. These synchronistic moments of opportunity are like doors that open at the exact moment you are ready to walk through them, as if the universe has been waiting for a sign of your readiness. The key difference between an opportunity synchronicity and a simple coincidence is the feeling that the opportunity has a purpose, a weight that goes beyond mere casualness. You've probably experienced a situation where something seems to appear in your life effortlessly, as if it were the solution to something you've been unconsciously searching for. Opportunity synchronicity manifests so perfectly that, when looking back, it becomes clear that nothing was by chance. It appears when we least expect it, but also when we are most prepared, because our inner state and actions in the world are in tune with what the universe is offering us. Intuition plays an important role in recognizing these opportunities. Sometimes, what prevents us from noticing synchronicity is our rationality, which tries to justify or deny the opportunities that arise. When we are connected with our intuition, we can feel when something clicks, even if there's no immediate logical explanation. The practice of developing intuition and keeping an open mind is essential to perceive these synchronistic moments, which not only reveal opportunities but also guide people in the right direction, often without them realizing how important the steps they're taking really are. How to attract more synchronicities? Attracting more synchronicities starts with an inner willingness to be more attentive to what's happening around you. The first step is practicing mindfulness and opening yourself up to the small coincidences that might otherwise go unnoticed in everyday life. When someone is aware of the present moment, they can notice subtle connections between events, people, and circumstances. For example, a simple walk down the street might result in an unexpected encounter that changes the course of your day. Being fully present, without distractions, increases your ability to perceive the signs the universe is sending, directly connecting them to your desires or needs. Your mental and emotional state also greatly influences the frequency of synchronicities. When someone is in an emotionally balanced state, more prone to gratitude and openness, they tend to attract positive and synchronistic experiences. If you're in a state of stress or negativity, you're more likely to perceive or attract events that only reinforce those feelings. Therefore, taking care of your mental health, practicing gratitude, or even engaging in activities that promote emotional well-being, like meditation, increases the chances of encountering synchronicity. When our internal energy aligns with our intentions, the world around us reflects this in surprising ways. Connection with the unconscious is another essential factor in intensifying these experiences. The unconscious holds profound wisdom and has the ability to guide us through symbols and signs. The more we allow ourselves to explore and integrate parts of the unconscious, the more we'll understand and perceive these external manifestations as reflections of our psyche. If you wish to increase the occurrence of synchronicities in your life, practice self-exploration, look for signs in your dreams, and observe how life unfolds around you. This alignment with the unconscious could be the key to attracting more deeply meaningful experiences that help your personal and spiritual growth. Synchronicity reveals a deep connection between the mind and reality. When we are aligned with our thoughts and feelings, the world around us seems to respond in surprising ways, as if the universe were conspiring in our favor. These synchronistic moments invite us to reflect on how our intentions and the unconscious shape our daily experience, often in ways we are just beginning to understand. By incorporating the knowledge of synchronicity into our lives, we can enhance our daily existence, becoming more attuned to the opportunities and signs that arise around us. Instead of following an automatic routine, we can learn to clearly perceive the messages the world sends us, guiding us toward more conscious choices that align with our true purpose. By practicing this perception, we become more in tune with the flow of life and better equipped to make decisions that truly benefit us. However, when dealing with these phenomena, it's essential to maintain a balance between intuition and rationality. Intuition connects us with the unconscious, while reason helps us analyze and discern what truly makes sense in our reality. By integrating these two forces, we can navigate more effectively through the paths that synchronicity offers and use it for our personal growth. If you wish to explore your own psyche more deeply and unlock your hidden potential, I invite you to check out my ebook Alchemy and Archetypes, Exploring Inner Transformation Through Jungian Psychology. In it, you'll find practical exercises to help you better understand the secrets of Jungian psychology and how you can apply them in a transformative way in your life.